Today is Sunday, September 21st. This is Lama Abu of the Garchen Institute. He has been working with Garchen Rinpoche at the Garchen Institute in Arizona and many of Garchen Rinpoche's centers all across the world for many, many years. He's been a monk in the Drikung Kagyu tradition and also a monk teacher, a meditation teacher, Dharma teacher, attendant to Garchen Rinpoche, practitioner. We're very lucky to have him with us. He was with us before. Abu spoke some words that he wants to share with Victoria, who she's going to share his words today. Before we start, Abu's going to lead us in a motivating bodhicitta. So we often do the four immeasurables to set our intentions and make aspirations, for the benefit of all beings. And today, Abu Lama is going to lead us in a prayer of arousing bodhicitta, motivation and aspiration for us to give rise to that feeling of immeasurable love for the benefit of all beings.
Pray?
Yeah, bodhicitta.
Sanjo Sencho Ramboje Maje Banan Chijoje Jiba Nyamba Meba Ye Gone Gonda Pava Yo Sanje Judan Sojen Jonan La Sanjo Barda Dane Jobse Dage Jinzo Jimbe Sunan Je Dola Panzara Sanje Deba Yo Sanje Judan Sojen Jonan La Sanjo Barda Dane Jobse Je Dage Jinzo Jimbe Sunan Dola Panzara Sanje Deba Yo Sanje Judan Sojen Jonan Sanjo Barda Dane Jobse Je Dage Jinzo Jimbe Sunan Dola Panzara Sanje Deba Yo Ma Nanka Dan Nyambe Senje Damje Deva Deva Jadan Dembara Je Donha Dan Donhara Je Jadan Ravara Je Donha Mebe Deva Da Mandravara Je Nyeren Jadan Jadan Ja Danyon La Nebar Je.
Yeah, thank you, Lama. I'm going to turn things over to Victoria. We're going to pan over to her, and she's going to discuss some of the things that Abu, why don't you slide over a little bit, some of the things that Abu shared with her today, and then we'll get to meditation and some questions later.
So we just finished a retreat with Abu Lama, upstate New York. It was an incredible practice. And Abu Lama shared a few notes that he wanted all of you to know about. The most important thing, I think, that he said is that when we have the right view, it has to be integrated into our conduct, meaning that we're not just pondering it on the seat when we're meditating, but in every single instance, every moment, we are practicing and acting based on that view. It has to be truly integrated into constant mindful awareness, has to direct our conduct, has to direct our body, speech, and mind, our thoughts, words, and action on a continuous basis. So Abu Lama said, we have to always start with thinking about impermanence for many reasons. Everything changes all the time. We are a continuous process of change. Our body changes, our mind changes. That's internal things. Externally as well, everything changes. Our city changes, our country changes, our political situation changes, the weather changes, the world changes. Changes are happening all the time. The implications of that is that For example, if we are in an afflicted state of mind, if we are in a difficult situation right now, whether our mind is very feeling, a lot of difficulties, we're going through obstacles in health, or, our country may be at a very difficult point of inflection, difficulties with, someone we love, we have to always remember impermanence. That situation will change and be replaced by something else. So not to get stuck and feel like the situation that is difficult for the moment will persist forever, but have patience, have clarity, have loving kindness. So impermanence. At the same time, when we have a good situation, not to cling to it. Maybe we have a beautiful house, we have a great job, we have, loads of money and things like that. But that too can change, just as everything changes all the time. That is the nature of impermanence. Impermanence is the truth of existence. It's not some kind of an observation. I like this, I don't like this. It's blue, I like it. It's black, I don't like it. Impermanence is really how things are. If we observe, we can confirm that with our own minds, with our own senses. That is how things are. And the other point about knowing how things truly are, how they truly abide, is karma, cause and result. And Abola said that there is no question, and we can check this and observe this for ourselves firsthand, that when we act from an afflicted mind, from a negative mind, suffering will always follow. Afflictions are like the engine of suffering. If we are acting from anger, we are acting from deep attachment, we are acting from jealousy, we are acting from craving, these will always be causes of suffering. The suffering may happen in a minute from now. If we screamed at someone, we hit someone, we did something, we destroyed, we killed something, we hurt it, or we acted in a negative manner through our body, speech, and mind, especially our activity, our actions. Suffering will follow. It may follow instantaneously, it may follow tonight, it may follow tomorrow, it may follow next year, it may follow next life, but it will certainly follow. And likewise, the difficulties we're experiencing now are results of previous karmic actions from before. So always having these two things in mind, guiding us all the time: impermanence, knowing that things are always changing. No need to grasp and arm ourselves with patience for when difficult things arise. Knowing that difficulties also arise is understanding the result of karma, cause and effect. Be okay when things arise. Know that they are impermanent, they will cease. Know that we can purify things sometimes when we're going through difficult situations. We don't have to reject them. It's okay. It's a result of our previous action. Understanding karma, cause and result, understanding impermanence, is what makes us really practitioners, differentiates us from people that are ignorant of how things really operate on constant basis. Impermanence, karma, cause and result are the laws of how reality really truly operates, and we can check that for ourselves. We can read it in books, but we should always check it for ourselves. We should always have our own certainty, and we should always act, speak and act and think with that understanding always in place, always in mind, never separating from knowing that this is how everything operates. Impermanence, karma, cause and effect. If we wish and desire for a happiness in this life, in the future life, in the next moment, we have to also create seeds and conditions by virtuous activity of the three doors, by the virtuous activities of body, speech, and mind. We have to speak with virtue. We have to think with virtue, and we have to act with virtue. It is very important, Abba Lama said, it is very important to integrate this into every single moment and be vigilant that we remember this when we act, that this permeates our behavior and our intentions all the time. Because if we separate from this and we don't integrate it into our activity and our mind and into our perception and how we deal with others and how we do things, it's useless. When we don't integrate the view, when we don't integrate Dharma into our daily moment by moment activities, it's just an idea. It's like a thing that lives in the book. It doesn't really have, it's not useful, and it's not really Dharma. Dharma is something that is used and it is in us all the time. Now, how to create virtue, how to have a virtuous mind, how to have like mindfulness, loving kindness, and mindfulness all the time. Abba Lama said that a great scholar, practitioner, Jetson Kappa, who lived in 15th century, very important Gelug teacher, said that first we need to have renunciation. There are 3 pillars for, having a good life, having the right kind of life. Renunciation is, knowing that attachment is the cause of suffering. So when we have a lot of attachment, a lot of grasping, I need this, I need a bigger house, I need a bigger car, I need more and more. Our life is spent on absolutely nothing. It's spent on things that at the time of death, we are leaving all behind, and we have wasted our entire life like running after all this. On the other hand, mind that doesn't have a great deal of attachment is also a happy life, a happy mind, and therefore leads to a happy life. Never desires things that others have, appreciates things that one has in this life and in this moment, and is content, is not seeking pleasure every moment of our existence. Second pillar is bodhicitta, the 4 immeasurables. With a loving, with loving kindness and compassion in our heart. When we are looking out through our eyes at the world and we are always operating through the 4 immeasurables, we will not be creating seeds for suffering for ourselves and for others. Our life is very much likely to be much more peaceful, and even if difficulties come, we can endure them and we can have the strength because our mind is in the right place, is motivated by right things. It doesn't lose its awareness. It's not swept away and imprisoned by afflictions. It's not swept away and imprisoned by attachment and aversion. And the third pillar is the right view. The right view is returning back to the initial point of what Abba Lama said, remembering impermanence, karma, cause and effect. If we hope for any kind of good life, this life, next life, even good death, we need to have the right seeds. We have to sow the right seeds, create the right circumstances for virtue, and from virtue comes happiness. So remembering impermanence, lessening attachment, and remembering karma, cause and effect. Everything that we do, everything that we say creates a circumstance for the next thing that comes into us, that is the next moment of our life. And so keeping all this, keeping those 3 pillars, renunciation, bodhicitta, the right view, is what will give us the causes and conditions for happiness. Will give us mindfulness awareness, which will allow us to deal with difficult situations, difficult people, difficult circumstances, and also will create positive causes and conditions for the future. Future as in the next moment, tomorrow, next year, and next life, and multiple next life. And to finish, Abba Lama said what's very, very important is that the body will disintegrate, of course. We've had many, many, many bodies, but the mind, the nature of mind, which is changeless, it will never, it does not cease. It does not arise and it does not cease, but it does do one thing, and it maintains the imprints of positive and negative, of virtuous and unvirtuous behaviors and mental patterns. So we may shed this body with all its difficulties and everything, but if we had a lot of anger in the previous life, we had a lot of jealousy, we had a lot of attachment, there's a very good chance we will be born in kind of a very difficult place, in a very difficult situation where there may be famine, maybe disease, maybe all kinds of difficulties, because in the previous life our mind had attachment to and imprints of afflictive emotions, and afflictive emotions create the circumstances in which our life takes place. So, the big takeaway from Lamala's teaching was, please practice virtuous mind. Do not forget those 3 pillars, of renunciation, bodhicitta, the right view. Remember impermanence and karma, cause and effect, and use it in every single instance, in every single moment, not just like once an hour or once a day, but all the time. Make sure your mind is imbued with those principles and is always acting from that place of wisdom, acting from a place of wisdom rather than stupidity, selfishness, will create circumstances and causes for happiness. I hope I was correct.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you would like to add, Amula?
Yeah,
Is okay?
yeah.
Okay, we're going to meditate. Most of you, I'm sure, have done this with us before, but so let's sit usually on a cushion, cross-legged. It helps to have your hips aligned or above your knees. Also, if you need to be in a chair, if you can't sit on the floor, be in a chair, but have your back straight, and the same hips either aligned or above your knees, feet flat on the floor, back straight, shoulders upright but not pushed back, not erect. So it's an upright but relaxed position. The hands, sometimes we do this, the left palm open and the right palm, back of the right hand on top, or just resting on your knees with your hands like this, relaxed, head tilted slightly forward. The mouth is closed, the teeth are slightly apart, the tongue rests where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. We breathe through our nose unless you can't breathe through your nose. A relaxed breath. Not a deep, not a shallow, but just relaxed. If you need to get a burst of oxygen, take a deep breath. We meditate with our eyes open in this class. For the most part, some people do. Abu Lama might meditate with his eyes closed during the session. He might meditate with his eyes. Do you do more closed eyes or open eyes when you meditate, Lama?
Depends. Sometimes open, sometimes close. Yeah. So many people they are close. Only me, I'm open.
You're open. We mostly in this class practice open eyes, so to get used to using awareness in day-to-day life, so you're not just closing off, but eyes open, and the gaze follows like the bridge of the nose, and the gaze rests on whatever's in front. Not intensely focused, not out of focus, but just lightly resting on what's in front. And we start with the breath, focusing where the air moves in through the nostrils, where the upper lip meets the nostrils there, that place. Focus your attention there for 3 breaths. Okay. Keep that going. Focus your attention on that, on the breath, where the breath is moving in. And the techniques we use here, we focus our attention, and the key to this practice is becoming aware that a thought has arisen. That's all. That's the key. It might take you a while to become aware. You might be lost in the thought. You might be following the thought. The key is becoming aware that the thought has arisen and going back to the breath, back to the place where your attention is focused here. Or we use the visualization of a cloud dissolving into the sky being our image of the sky-like nature of mind. Stainless, vast, infinite, calm, open. The cloud has arisen from it and dissolves back into it. And if we leave the thought where it is, or we almost watch it in our mind like a cloud dissolve back into the mind and then settle back into that calm, vast expanse, sky-like nature of mind. And repeat and repeat and repeat those techniques. And rest. Just rest in this position. Rest your mind. When you notice the thought has arisen, just leave the thought where it is. Don't follow it, don't judge it, don't push it away. Notice it, and then back to the breath, or notice it and watch it dissolve like a cloud. Back to the breath. Back to the breath. I'm aware a thought has arisen. Watch it dissolve back into the sky-like nature of mind and settle into that openness. If you need a breath of air, deep breath, take one. If you need to shift, do it and settle back into the posture. to the breath. Become aware of the fact that you're thinking and apply the technique. And then settle once again. Okay, thank you. Okay, we will go to some questions. Victoria's gonna take on most of the questions. No,
You and Abu.
you too, please. And move in, slide in as much as you can. Okay, so there's a chat, it's a Q&A button in the toolbar of the Zoom. And if you have any questions, you can ask there. We don't have any questions for the moment, but if you'd like to ask Abu or Victoria or about the practice, the meditation practice itself, or any of the things that Victoria spoke on, you can ask a question now, and we will try to answer it. How can I get my karma better?
Abu.
You?
No,
How can I get karma better?
better karma.
Better karma. Now you need to do good, how does it?
Virtuous things, good things, kind things. Please don't.
Do good things. then you come as good thing, coming good things.
Yeah. Please don't confuse karma with luck. Sometimes we say, oh, I have bad karma. You know, we have this kind of a vague understanding, oh, I have bad luck. There's really no luck in the universe. Everything that happens with the inexorable law of karma, cause and result. You know, if I'm going to push something off the table, it's going to fall. It's not going to linger somewhere in the mid state. Same way, we have to understand whatever we do leads to leads to results. So
this lifetime is good karma. Then you need next lifetime good karma. You need do good things. This example, this we eat this barley is last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Next year you need good barley. You need good pepper.
Prepare for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that we call it purify. What do we purify karma from? What do we purify our three doors so that we create positive karma for ourselves? We purify the three doors from afflictions, right? From afflictions, because remember what Abba Lama said, even though the body disintegrates, the mind never does. And what gets deposited in the mind are the habits. They form habitual propensities. Like if we were very angry often in this life, we will be angry most likely a lot or more in the next life. So to have good karma, to have good health, to have, good people surrounding us, to have, good life, etc., etc., etc. This is not about accumulating riches and things like that, but to have good life, truly good life, to have good mind, to have good surrounding, good friends, we have to be virtuous ourselves. That's how we purify.
Yeah.
When we
right now we have good karma, and we need next lifetime good karma. We need pepper.
Yes. So in order to have, in the next moment, in the next month, in the next year, in the next life, to have good things happen, we need to act now, in this instance, with good body, speech, and mind. We have to express positively. We have to think.
You barley, example barley.
Yes. Right. So what you sow last year, if it was good, then this year what you'll be tasting and reaping will be good. If you didn't do the preparation work, you didn't plow, you didn't sow good seeds, your barley is not going to be great next year, right, Abula?
Yep.
Like that. So if you want to have good everything, good life, totality of life, you have to have the right view, have good heart, mind, virtuous, and most importantly, what Abba Lama was stressing before when he gave me the notes, is integrated into every single moment of your activity. It can't be just, I'm going to scream at you now, but tomorrow I'm going to kiss you and hug you. And no, you have to be good you have to be virtuous all the time. I don't mean good like a lap dog jumping around and obeying people's things. I mean truly virtuous behavior. Virtuous behavior with those three pillars: renunciation, bodhicitta, the right view incorporating impermanence and karma, cause and effect. You have those three things, they're in your mind, they're in your action every single instance, because impermanence means that there's every single instance. It's not like once a day, all the time, continuously. Mindfulness in everything, in body, speech, and mind, will give good karma.
Yeah, I told this morning this renunciation. Renunciation, always we need think, meditate. Not only harm or this renunciation, some blah blah blah, right?
Yes.
But we need to think, check this is true or not true. No need to believe. Just
Yes.
You need check.
Check for yourself. Don't just keep it as an idea in a book. Don't take it on blind faith. Check for yourself. In Buddhism, everything really operates on the level of experience. Check for yourself. What is impermanence? what is karma, cause and effect, renunciation. When I have grasping and I don't have renunciation, check for yourself how much suffering you're actually experiencing, right, Abula?
Yes.
Like this, check for yourself. Or when your mind, can say, I'm okay without this and this and this, especially renunciation to afflictive states of mind. It's much more important than giving up a few things, objects in the world, is giving up negative states of mind, afflictive states of mind. Because like Abu Lama said before, afflictive states of mind are the engine of suffering. You don't want to have suffering, you're going to have to give up negative states of mind and negative behavior.
How does right action and virtue pertain to our relationships to animals?
Same like to anything, right?
What
Treating all sentient beings. Animals are just one realm of sentient beings. It's kind of a very mundane view to separate humans and animals, but relating to all sentient beings virtuously. Remember, that animal could have been your mother in the past life or your child in the past life. Sentient beings wander according to the Buddhist view, through 6 states of existence. Animal and human being the 2 of those states. So virtuous activity to all sentient beings, not harming, bodhicitta, and understanding that despite the way they look and what kind of body they got that specific body as an animal because of the activity that, body, speech, and mind activity of the 3 doors that they had in the past life. No, Amala?
Yeah.
Like that.
What if your acts of loving kindness are rejected?
It's okay. It's not about that we have to make a deposit in the bank. It's important that the source of our good action comes from us, and we give. If it's not taken, that person is not ripe yet, but we are completely okay with that. We are not waiting for them to kiss us, say you're so great, you're so wonderful, praise us, etc., etc. We're not waiting for praise and clapping. We are only concerned with what is coming out of me. We're not really controlling other people. We're working with our mind. We're working with our afflictions. Right, Abula?
Mm-hmm.
It's important to know that I'm operating with loving kindness. I am speaking with, bodhicitta. I am thinking of the other person with bodhicitta. Make sure we're also not confusing, loving kindness with afflictive states of grasping to other people, such as our affection in a certain particular kind of way. We're not speaking here about being rejected by a lover or even, a parent or a child. Our focus is always on our own mind. We are not waiting for the results on the other side. We are always concerned with what is coming from here, from my body, speech, and mind. Are my actions correct? And it's okay. Sometimes, that person still may not understand the intention. That person may, not want to be in our proximity. And we have to accept that. That has to be okay, because it's just like we're not going to eat unripe apples or, unripe fruits or other kinds of things. They have to have time to ripen and become what they need to become. But we are not concerned with that as practitioners. We are always concerned with our intentions, with our motivation and our action. We're not concerned with how it's received, whether it's applause or rejection. That's not important.
Thank you, Lama. Are there any simple words we can use to remind ourselves of the view while going about our daily lives?
Lama La gave us the 3 pillars. The view is one of them, but renunciation, bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the 4 immeasurables, right? So the view, if you want to hold the view, you hold the 4 immeasurables, and you also hold the 6 paramitas. We spoke about them earlier. Patience, the right attitude toward others, and the 4 immeasurables, of course. Wishing them all the happiness, wishing them to be free from suffering. Holding to that, right?
Yeah.
That's the right view. That's the right mindful attitude.
I had a physical pain in my leg, which makes it difficult to focus in meditation and day-to-day life. So it seems like this is an ongoing physical pain. Do you have thoughts on how to manage that?
How do you deal with pain when you have pain?
Physical pain,
Physical
either in
pain.
meditation or even in daily life.
They can not do like this.
Sometimes in meditation, but sometimes just in life too, regular day-to-day life.
Right.
How to deal with pain,
Any kind of pain.
physical pain.
That sounds you need to think of this. My body is something like emptiness. Just you're not focused in the one where you pain. Just mind's just open or free. Something like this thinking, maybe better. Minds go to there when you pain all this pain, something like this. Minds going in this, wings going there. But minds just in the how to say, think emptiness and the open, maybe pain is a little release.
Abala is mentioning a very important thing for Buddhists. The word wind means energy. So when we focus very deeply on a particular place of where we have pain, we focus very particularly where we have like an obstacle, it's very easy to be all absorbed into that one area and kind of emphasize, the presence of, of a painful place in our body, or a particular kind of a, could be a situation, not just a physical pain, right? Abala is saying, when you direct all with tremendous focus, all your mind to that one place of suffering, your wind, your energy also like hones in on that. And so the mind becomes very imprisoned. To remember that our body is not the same as our mind, even though they're linked in this life. Remember the nature of mind is not elements, is not body. So, becoming more aware of the nature of mind being cognizant and empty, free, shifting the focus just from the vessel, the body, more to our mind, and of course then there's also like little practical things, finding experimenting with different positions, finding position that is acceptable, taking pressure from, a specific, part of our body so we can meditate and stuff like that. The only important thing for meditation is a straight spine, because the energy should move freely through our body, and we are very concerned with the central channel energy, right, Abala? Yeah. So a back straight. But very important, check your mind and see how you've habituated, maybe possibly focusing solely on that pain, because very often we can be distracted by many, many other kinds of things. So trying to refocus, trying to take at least a portion of the focus to meditation and to other kinds of things. And, we are also always taught by our Lama Garchen Rinpoche too, when we're dealing, with a lot of pain and stuff like that, Tonglen meditation is very, very useful. At that time when we're, feeling a lot of physical pain, we think of everyone else who has the same kind of a situation. We inhale the dark and painful, and then we exhale the white and liberate them from the pain. It can really reduce a lot of one's own pain when we engage in this kind of a bodhicitta practice. That's a bodhicitta physical practice, can be done on the breath, very, very easy. And it really diminishes one's own pain because you're thinking of all others who are dealing with the same situation.
Someone asked about, is there a specific way, prayer practice, I can contribute to the peace of the world, of our world as it is today? Well, the practice you just described could apply there, obviously.
But there are prayers.
The prayer, if you go to the Garchen Institute website, there's a PDF for World Peace Prayer, Garchen Rinpoche. Check that out.
World Peace Prayer.
Someone at
Before you, I just wanted to mention Abu Lama is a leader of a center in Seattle. Can you send that information to Nick so we can post it? Abu Lama does a lot of teachings and meditation practices at that center, and you guys can check out that website and,
Drikung Seattle Center, right?
Yes.
Drikung Seattle.
Seattle
Nick,
Center.
if you can put that up somewhere.
You can, look at the practices they do, you can donate, you can support in whichever way you want, and, we encourage you, as always, to connect to authentic teachers and lamas who practice in an authentic lineage.
If you go and press the chat button, Nick put up a website for Drikung Seattle. Yes, what you just said, Victoria, applies to this next question. Someone said, I took refuge in July, and I've been studying for 1.5 years. I have no local Sangha, and I have a struggle putting order into my studies. I feel like my reading and study is all over the place. I've done Turgar Vajrayana online, but in a very higgledy-piggledy way, chaotic way. Is there a method to doing that? I mean, I think what you describe about connecting to a teacher and really committing to a teacher, maybe you can expand on that and how they can do that in either in person or online.
Well, there is a gradual path, right, Abula?
Yeah.
The gradual path is very specific. In Buddhism, it's outlined incredibly well. We have to understand, we're beginners, so we have to start at the beginning. It's not useful for us to start in the middle and at the end. Like, when we're, little, we go to first grade, we don't run to college. So it is very useful to follow what is called the graduated path. And often it starts with the 4 thoughts that turn the mind. And then we start to do a preliminary practice that's called Nondro. First and foremost, what Abu Lama stressed for the stuff that I was reading off today from his, the notes I made from the teaching he gave me this morning. 4 thoughts that turn the mind are the most important preliminaries. If we don't have the 4 thoughts that turn the mind, impermanence, karma, cause and effect, fortunate human birth, right?
But I think what they're asking is, what's a way for them to find this, like specify, rather than kind of going all over the internet, find a teacher. What's the best way to really immerse yourself and find this clear path?
Yeah, connecting to Dharma centers, connecting to great teachers. At Garchen Institute, there is an ongoing Nondro practice, which is a preliminary practice before you really dive into Vajrayana, sadhanas and text. You go through Nondro practice, and at Garchen Institute, Tenzin Lama has done now for several years an ongoing Nondro practice. So 4 thoughts that turn the mind, then Nondro practice. And then, of course, you join retreats, and you do practices in groups. You start like that. There is definitely a big advantage to following a graduated path, because often when we're not prepared and we jump into big retreats, it's very, very difficult. We don't know what to do in them. The mind is not prepared, and the body is not prepared for it often too. So, following, the gradual path. Abula, what's a good Drikung Kagyu book for a gradual path?
The path is this John Gamboa, John Animist Liberation?
Jewel of Liberation. Gampopa's Jewel of Liberation.
That's very good.
Gampopa's Jewel of Liberation.
And really the strongest thing you could do is connect to a teacher that you really follow specifically their instructions.
Yes.
And that, sometimes you need to maybe travel to be there, or you can do it online and connect with them. But I think the more you connect to a teacher and really kind of follow that path specifically, I think it could be a little bit easier and more effective. And the question a lot of people always ask also is recommendations for beginning books. If you go to the Solidago Productions website where you signed on here, there's a list of teachers and their books there. This is an interesting question here. Do we ever run out of reincarnations?
Yeah.
It's a good
When
question.
we become Buddhists.
Huh?
Good question.
When we attain full enlightenment.
Yes.
No more reincarnation, yeah. Full enlightenment.
Do we ever?
Run out. Finish reincarnation.
Finish reincarnating.
Yes, when you are liberated, then no more.
Yeah. The word liberation in Buddhism means that you've attained the supreme mind of enlightenment. That means you've attained your ordinary mind turned into mind of Buddhahood. Then there is no more reincarnating. As by the way, many beings have done. Just for us to be aware, there are beings becoming liberated as we speak all the time. They have been countless liberated beings, right? Like in every lineage of Buddhism, a lot of the, texts and things that we read are from beings that have been liberated, starting with the teacher of our era, Buddha Shakyamuni. He became a perfect Buddha, perfectly liberated.
This next question is one of the most common questions we get, because it's something that people often come here because of or really deal with and struggle with in their lives. So it's good that someone brought this up today. Thank you. As I work on my mind and afflictions, I find it hard to avoid aversion with certain family members who are triggers of my strongest afflictions. Any advice on how I can apply practice in such challenging situations? I want to re-engage with them now, but I find it hard as I have so much more work to do on myself. How you deal with difficult family members using practice.
It's practice. Then you need patience. Patience. Loving kindness, compassion, patience, much as you can. Then also you need to think this, how to say, Dharma is something like gas, and together, couple of years, then slowly, separate. You need to think like this together, that terms, and is loving kindness, compassion, patience for them, something like this. Then one day, then all gone.
And before, earlier in the morning, Abola gave me instruction when I wrote down the notes. He said it's very, very important to practice with, when we say, may all beings have happiness, and we arise the mind of bodhicitta with the four immeasurables. He said it's very, very key and important that we practice it right here with the people who are right in front of us, our family members, people who are close, people we work with. Neighbors. Don't say, may all beings have happiness, but I hate this guy. That's not the mind of bodhicitta. And very, very important what Abba Lama said to me. He said, when we're dealing with someone, for example, who is angry or jealous or who's bitter and says like horrible things, behaves in a horrible way, we have to separate the person from the affliction. Okay? The affliction is like an illness, right? And the person is the person when they are acting and speaking under the power of an afflicted mind. We should really kind of try to separate almost like a mental illness and the things that arise from that, from the person themselves. We have to have patience and know that when the time comes and they have purified and clarified that affliction, they will be, a very different kind of a human being. So bearing that in mind, not getting triggered. You know, what gets triggered is our ego. Our wisdom does not get triggered because our wisdom always holds patience, always loves others, no matter what they do, how they say, what they speak, you know. And, you know, having a lot of forbearance, having, having a lot of patience, and, working with, patience and understanding through these kinds of situations. And actually, the work is always not somewhere far away with people we don't know, in other countries, etc. The work is always here in our immediacy, with our family, with our neighbors, with people with whom we practice, with people with whom we work, always in our near surrounding is where practice really has to take root, has to practice, and we expect from others to be patient with us if we misspoke or we did something else, but we often don't want to give that to others, right? So before it comes to us and we're the recipients of their patience and love, we have to give it first. Because that's how we get, the right causes and conditions for happiness and not suffering. If we speak harshly, if we don't have patience, we can't expect anything but suffering toward ourselves. So working through mindfully, like Abu Lama said, knowing, impermanence, it's going to dissipate. First of all, their mental condition can dissipate, and also we may part from them. They may not be here, or I may not be, we may not be here. Those parents we hate right now, they can just like pass away in their sleep. So we have to keep that in mind. We have to be patient, and we have to have mind of loving kindness, especially with difficult people. And in fact, Abu Lama started us today with our tradition, in our Drikung Kagyu tradition. Our prayer is, Four Immeasurables is the fourth part. The first part starts with, may all sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and wisdom, may they have happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may I establish them in a state of complete, perfect Buddhahood, right?
Yeah.
So the more they hurt you, think, I need to make them happy. That's the path to Buddhahood.
They have this family, they are angry or jealousy or, not happy or something.
Yes.
Just you need to think they have.
May they have happiness.
They have more affective emotions. Then we need more compassion. This 37 bodies of the books is one illness child.
Yes.
Then mothers not think, oh, this illness and no love. Mothers more compassion, right?
Yes.
For children. The mother know he has illness, he has suffering. Like this, there's who have more affective emotions, something. We need more compassion for them because they are with strong affective emotions, they make suffering. 37 bodies of the books.
We've
37
gone
bodhisattva
through
practices.
37 bodhisattva
Inside
practices.
is net tapum pearl margin. So you have children, one child that he has not good health, mother's more love and more taking care of this child,
Yes.
right? Like this, more compassion than them, because they are affected emotions very strong.
Yeah, loving the people with more afflicted minds, even more, giving them more to quench the fire of their affliction, the suffering of their affliction, and always remembering that people that have a lot of affliction, difficult people, have tremendous amount of suffering. They have more suffering than a person that doesn't have that. Because, like I said before, it's a person that's really view it like a person with illness. We cannot blame people with illness for the state they're in. We have to wait for the illness to subside, for the mind to change, purify, etc. So more love, more patience. Like a mother loves a sick child even more. So we have to think this way toward difficult people, and especially toward, all mother sentient beings. We call them our mother sentient beings. All sentient beings have been our mothers in previous lives. And especially the mothers of this life, mothers, fathers, siblings. We have to give them tremendous amount of love. We have to actually give more love to the ones who are more afflicted than, the ones who are all positive and radiant. We don't need to give them tons. They already have a lot of happiness because their minds are in a very good place.
One question that people always ask, especially people new to this, are how to start a meditation practice. And the best advice we could give is, the practice we did today, keep it short, but keep it regular. Make it routine, make it a habit, do it every day. Start with 5 minutes. Exactly what we did today. We did 10 minutes today, but you can do even less. The important thing is to make it a regular practice. That's how, that's the best way to begin. I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Lama Abu, for being with us today. Thank you, Nick Solidio, our producer. And if you want to, we dedicate the merit, whatever merit generated from today's class for the benefit of all beings. Would you like to dedicate today? Yeah.
Sunam de Danje Zirpani, Tonam Nimbe Dranam Panse, Giganan Che Balong Tropai, Sipe Tolen Doa Doa Jo, Sancho Sancho Rinpoche, Maji Banan Jijerche, Jibana Bameba, Gone Gondom Heva Jo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time, okay? Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Bye.